Introduction to Computers, BCA 101, Information Systems. We're going to talk a little bit about bottom-up design. We've already talked about top-down. We did some examples, a little bit of review. We talked about analysis, the initial problem, concern. Then we talked about analysis. We talked about design, and then we led into development, implement, evaluate. Top-down design. Lots of software, information systems, and so forth need to follow a top-down design. You have to make sure that not only understanding a problem, you have to do a complete analysis of that. You have to make sure the design is everything you want. It'd be like building a house. You know, you'd need the design of the house before you could start building it. It's pretty tough to dig a hole and then try to build a house around the hole. And a certain time for when you put the plumbing in and all those things. Same thing with information systems. If you're designing an information system, let's say to do air traffic control, this is what you'd have to do. You'd have to make sure you design it so there weren't any mistakes or you didn't leave anything out. Bottom-up design, what that does is that takes these steps in consideration, and sometimes referred to as rapid prototyping. You identify the problem, you say, okay, we do a quick analysis and design, and then we create a prototype. Okay, we create a prototype, and then that prototype we go back and analyze if that works, adjust the prototype, works, adjust the prototype. And then eventually over time, we get a system that we can implement, evaluate, and so forth. A good example of bottom-up design would be maybe how you do a spreadsheet. Sometimes people will start a spreadsheet and they'll literally not have it all laid out. They'll just start putting things in and moving them around, and they get something working. Then they'll say, okay, I want it to do something else, and they'll change and adjust it until they get it the way they want it. Another good example would be some type of presentation. You start creating your slides, and you may not draw out your entire presentation ahead of time. You might just start, and then you decide you're going to put this slide here, you're going to edit this slide, you're going to add a new slide, and so forth. So you kind of build it bottom up. You kind of see, this is what I want at the end, and how am I going to get there? Here. Same thing here. Create a prototype, figure out how you get there. A big advantage of this is they have something they call rapid prototyping, in which you quickly create a prototype and then build upon it. A drawback would be if you make a major error in your original creation. Instead of being able to update your prototype, you have to get rid of it and start over. Like if you're building a house and you didn't have a really good design, you might get part way done and then realize you made a huge flaw and you might have to start all over. Alright, and that's it for bottom-up design and rapid prototyping.